What is up guys, and welcome back to our second channel. This is Sri Lanka. Shehan and I are full-time travel content creators currently based in Sri Lanka, and we wanted to create a separate platform for us to share all of the beautiful stories of Sri Lanka that we come across. Today's interview is a part of a series that we hope to continue on here, where we speak with industry leaders on the current state of the tourism industry, as well as possible ways in which we can improve on it together. Okay, so now we have the chairman of the Jetwing Group, Mr. Hiran Cooray, here with us, and thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be with you, Sheneller.
Oh, thank you. So to start off, we've been seeing that you and Hashan have been taking the public transport around the island. How has that experience been, and how would it be for a traveler, and how can we improve on it?
Well, thank you for asking, because we've thought the reason why we started traveling by train and public buses is because the main reason is we need to reduce consumption. As Sri Lankans, when we are traveling, we have, I think, an obligation now to reduce our consumption. So that was the main reason why we thought we will travel by public transport. And I mean, believe me, I started enjoying it. I got into a public bus after I left school. At first it was a little strange, but once I got in and started talking to the conductor and all of that, now I'm beginning to enjoy the excitement of waiting for a bus and making sure we get into the right bus, all of that. But the views, it's worth
Better
it.
for the view.
Yes, and you're paying in the observation deck 2,500 rupees. Right, for somebody who's coming from overseas, you think of it in US dollars, it's $7 US.
Yeah.
Nowhere else in the world can you get such a fabulous train journey for that price.
Yes.
On the improvement front, yes, the timings can be better, the announcements can be better, because okay, we both speak Sinhalese, so we can ask people. But if you are a non-native language speaker, then for you to find where you're going, what time is it going, sometimes the train stops and it doesn't take off for another 15 minutes. So you're wondering, is it going to really take off again? Right? So those are things that can improve, There can be some announcements saying, look, we are now stopping for 10 minutes and we'll be taking off again. Then, of course, the other is the toilet facilities.
Yes.
Right? So those need to improve a lot, especially the toilet facilities for the female travelers. It has to improve like 1,000%, not 100%, 1,000%. So if we get that right, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Whether you're a budget traveler, whether you're a high-end traveler, it doesn't matter, because you see a different part of Sri Lanka which you wouldn't see by traveling on the road.
Yes, so there are very minor changes actually.
Yeah, it doesn't cost a lot of money to make those changes.
Yes, and I think one of the things that Shehan actually mentioned was that as a tourist, you're not really looking for a high-end train to take you up there. You actually like the fact that you can put your head out.
Exactly, because for someone who's coming from Europe or Australia or the Middle East or Japan, you can't do that. There is no way can you put your head out,
hang out and take an Instagram picture.
And also the train travels so slowly. So worst case, even if you fall off, you're not going to drop dead. So
you should say, hang out at the train at your own
at your own risk, of course. But it goes so slowly and meanders along those valleys and so on. So yeah, it's a different enjoyment.
If you are enjoying this interview on our new channel, This is Sri Lanka, please do hit that subscribe button to support us and to encourage us to keep creating more. So Jetwing is the largest tourist brand in Jaffna at the moment. What is the future or the potential you see for tourism in Jaffna, and how can we protect the cultural and religious aspect of it while also promoting it as a tourism destination?
I think one of the main attractions of Jaffna is the culture, the religious activity, right? Because without that, Jaffna will be dead. The Kovils, beginning with Nallur, it's that religion and that people's behavioral patterns, their food habits, all that is part of culture of Jaffna. So we have to make that the attraction.
Absolutely.
Not introduce anything external into. So okay, we provide luxury accommodation here in Jaffna. That's all we do. The rest is, you see Jaffna as is. You know, the covils, the architecture, the landscape, the food. You know, even in our hotels, we haven't introduced any major Western food varieties. We are just focusing on what Jaffna curry is, Jaffna food. So that's what we are offering. I think there is a lot more to Jaffna to explore. I mean, the climate here is very nice. It's cool. It's windy. Food. The people are also extremely nice as well. You know, it's all that put together. I think it's if we can maintain it that way, there is potential for tourism to grow more. We haven't still gone to the beaches of Jaffna.
Absolutely.
You know, and the islands of Jaffna. Right, so there is potential in the next 3 to 5 years to see some lovely resort types. You know, not high-rise buildings, just ground and maybe 1 floor up. That kind of resorts along the beaches, because this is obviously a peninsula, and then you have the islands. There is the, you know, Delft Island is something that's, I mean, to me, the nicest beach I have seen in Sri Lanka is on the Delft Island. So those are absolutely untouched places as well. So there is a little possibility to grow tourism a little bit more, because, you know, one thing is tourism creates job opportunities. It lifts the economy and the money filters down to everybody. So that's something that so it's a very good question you asked. How do you preserve the culture? Yes, so you promote the culture. When you're promoting the culture, then that culture sustains. Yes,
absolutely, I agree. And I think that since we have developed so many other parts of the island and we are coming to the north last, I hope we can learn from the things that we have, mistakes we have made, and like you said, like not many high-rise buildings and preserving the culture. Hopefully we can do like a better job of preserving and promoting this.
Sorry, if I could just add into that question. You all have a property in the south as well, in the south of the country, in Galle. And you have seen how that has evolved, that entire region, especially after the highway came up, and now some even look at it as not so sustainable anymore down there.
Correct.
What are the learnings from that we can take when we're looking at developing the north?
Okay, so I think when we developed Galle, when my father built Lighthouse, there was nothing in Galle. So nobody overnighted in Galle. And then after Lighthouse, of course, the villas came and the bigger hotels came, and now unfortunately high-rise apartments have come up. So I think the learning is not to be too greedy. I think, you know, because when with economic opportunities, you know, if you have more rooms, you make more money, right? So then you become greedy. So the main learning is to be careful, not to be too greedy, not to grab everything. You know, if you have a well where you can pull water and drink, do you want to, you know, empty the you know, that kind. Exactly. So that's something that's something that we can learn.
I think that is something that's a responsibility of all the stakeholders in the industry, not just one, but I think everyone has to understand the limitations of the island and possibly charge higher.
Yes, but there will always be that exceptional fellow who will want to do something else. So the regulatory bodies must also be there to prevent such things, because if I have money and I want to do it, and if the regulators allow me to do it, I will do it. Right? So therefore the regulation must be there saying, look, no, you cannot do it. You can, you know, you can go horizontally, but you can't go vertically, you know.
This interview was shot during our third iteration of This is Sri Lanka, where we cycled around the island and showed the world that not only is Sri Lanka safe to travel, but she is far more beautiful and welcoming than you ever expected her to be. Make sure you check out the full series on our main channel, Sheneller, which can be found in the description below. So Jaffna is a town, a city that has a very unique and distinct appeal to it, like we discussed before. And just like that, what I noticed when I walked into this property is that while it has all the components of a luxury hotel, the design still has something that has that same appeal. It delivers something unique aesthetics-wise. Can you tell us a little bit about how you wanted to encapsulate that in this property?
Yeah, so we wanted to bring in the colors of the Covilles, the red and white, into the rooms, and that was one part. And the lady who did in the interiors from Design Group 5, she did a lot of study into, while being based in Colombo,
right.
She did some study into the artifacts and all of that, and brought those elements in.
Yes.
So that's what she was very good at doing, and we encouraged her. We worked with her closely, and then there were ladies from Vaunia, who did most of the other works of the small artifacts. So we tried to keep it as local as possible. While of course we had to do, because since this is a city hotel as well, we had to go up a little bit, but we still kept some of the Jaffna elements in the hotel's architecture.
It's very noticeable. As we walked in, we had that feeling that yes, we walked into a luxury hotel, but it was very very notable that we were in Jaffna, and that's what I really liked about this. That's what I really like about this property. So Sri Lanka tourism has been through 3 very rough years. So as a leading brand in the industry, if you could share a message with the stakeholders, what would it be?
Well, this has probably been the worst, I think, what we've gone through. But I've completed 35 years in tourism, and I've seen how we've suffered during the conflict, then the tsunami, then all sorts of things. So natural, man-made, all disasters, but this was a combination of the bomb, COVID, and the political and economic reasons. This is something that's
brand new.
Oh my God, that's very difficult to handle. But this is the time that I think one must have patience, right? I always think of the farmers, and sometimes they help me to accept what we are going through at this point in time, because I travel around the country and I see the farms, and if it rains too much, their produce is out. If it doesn't rain, they lose their produce, right? So they're so much dependent on the weather, and we don't even think about it. So when I think of them, I think we are so blessed, right? We are so blessed in a way, and the sun still shines, and life goes on. So for us, the 2 things that I can share is patience and faith. Can be faith in Buddhism, Christianity, whatever the religion you are born into, have faith. Strengthen the faith. That helps to, these difficulties you're going to face throughout. We think we are getting over this. Maybe next year something else happens, right? But life has to go on. You have to remain cheerful. You have to wake up in the morning and say, thank God, I've got another day to live. So that's the message, that I've gone through this for so many years and will continue to battle along and be responsible and move forward.
Okay, thank you so much for talking to us. Those were some really great insights. I really enjoyed listening to them, and I'm sure the audience, the people who are watching, definitely would love it as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you.